Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning, back on the topic of the NFL. Today we are talking Cleveland Browns and looking at whether or not Baker Mayfield is the future of this franchise. Obviously a guy that just got the Browns' first playoff win in, 20-something odd years. So obviously this team is looking up, but Baker Mayfield due for a new contract after this coming season. So it's going to be time to decide whether or not he's the future of this franchise. So that's what we're looking at today. But before we get into the video, question of the day. We're fighting Myles Garrett again, this time against J.J. Watt, the former Texan, now Arizona Cardinal. J.J. Watt versus Myles Garrett. Who are you taking in a fight? Comment below, and at the end of the video, Jay and I will give you our winner. But Jay, what's your opinion on Baker Mayfield?
I see it from two different point of views. A pure talent perspective, I do think Baker is the guy. Say what you want, while he might not be the perfect thrower, he might not be the perfect athlete, no other quarterback has really brought this amount of success and hopefulness for the Cleveland Browns in a very long time. This guy has brought them to the playoffs, and they're looking to do more. I even have them making the AFC Championship this year. So long term, Baker is already showing he can bring them success in the short term. So in that aspect, I think so. But from a value perspective, it could get tough. If Baker Mayfield's going to be the next guy that asks for $40 million like Dak Prescott, you're going to run to an issue. Not to say he doesn't deserve that money, but if the Browns want to keep the fortress of the team around him, that is going to be hard to afford. A $40 million Baker Mayfield, the best backfield in the NFL between Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, the most expensive offensive line in the NFL, a highly paid OBJ, Austin Hooper, David Njoku, Jarvis Landry, and then same thing on the other side of the football. Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, your top two guys on defense, are both on their current rookie contracts, so soon they will be due for a big paycheck as well. And then you just added John Johnson, Troy Hill, Malik Jackson, Takarius McKinley, Sheldon Richardson. This team is working right now. But long term, if Baker Mayfield takes a big portion of the salary cap, they're not going to be able to keep the perfect talent around him. I'm hoping Baker becomes the next type of Tom Brady that understands you're not going to win a championship taking 20% of the salary cap. I hope he understands from a Tom Brady perspective, you have to take around 15% or 10% of the salary cap or less. Be the guy that makes $25 million. You'll still make plenty off of commercials, and it's not like you're going broke making $20 million. To me, I'd love Baker Mayfield to go to that kind of standpoint, but if he goes out and takes $40 million, he might deserve it, but it's going to hurt the rest of the team and bite them in the ass in the long run.
For me, short and sweet, Baker is the future of this franchise. I'm a fan of Baker Mayfield. He's shown growth. I mean, the guy is just... He's maturing, I think, and he's starting to play more and more like an NFL quarterback. From when he got into the league, I think he threw 27 touchdowns his rookie year, which at the time I think might have been a record. It was a record that I think was then. Were Wentz and Baker Mayfield the same draft class?
No, 1 year later. 2 years later might have been.
I think Wentz ended up breaking his record, and then I think Herbert might have just broken this one or something like that.
Okay.
But whatever. Baker had a good rookie season. I think he threw like 14 picks, and then his second year, his touchdowns went a little bit lower, but I think he cut it down to 11 interceptions. Last year, he only threw 8 interceptions. He's working in the right direction. I like Baker Mayfield for the future, and I just think, like Jay said, really the only issue is he going to be mature enough and want to win bad enough to not take the big contract that we've seen Dak take, we've seen Mahomes take, we've seen Deshaun take. Because if he does take a contract like that, the Browns team just won't be able to stay the way it is with that defense and that the weapons, the backfield, all the above is going to cost too much money to pay them and all Baker if he wants all that money. But I think he'll surprise a lot of people, make the right decision, be selfless, and create a winning team. And I like Baker for the future of this Browns team. Yeah, and like you said, the talent is there. I think the talent's there, and he's getting better and smarter as the years go on.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I have them going to the AFC Championship. If miraculously this year they go out and win the Super Bowl, it's going to be hard to tell Baker now you're not worth the $40 million. So that will be a tough conversation to have, especially when he's due for his upcoming contract in this following year. This is his 4th year. I doubt he's going to want to deal with the 5th-year option. He's going to be like, assuming he's going to want to be like Dak Prescott and steal his money, but who knows? I'm not Baker Mayfield. Either way, I can't really blame him. I'm not going to say, oh no, turn down $45 million and take 20. I can't blame the guy for that. I'm going to take $40 million if it's on the table. But overall, like I said, from a pure standpoint of looking at his skill and raw potential, I do like what he shows just compared to every other Brown quarterback you've had since Otto Graham. You've had zero hope pretty much. Manziel is kind of like Baker, but Baker matured past the Manziel point. I think they had similar play styles, similar frames. Manziel just never got past the hump of being a mature player and a mature guy that acts his age. Baker, you could tell he's doing that. He's still not the perfect guy, but he's getting there and he's progressing, and as long as he's going in the right direction, that's what you want to see.
Yeah, you bring up Johnny Manziel. I remember thinking when Baker was coming into the league, Manziel obviously just left such a bad taste in all Browns fans' mouth because as soon as Baker was coming into the league, I kind of thought the same thing. He's going to end up like Johnny Manziel, super talented guy in college, going to go down the wrong path in the NFL and eventually end up in whatever he's playing now. But obviously Baker's proven all of us wrong to this point. He hasn't played any Hall of Fame level or to a Hall of Fame level or anything like that, but he's just progressed. Like I said, his rookie season numbers have continued to got better, and I think what did I say? I think Wentz set a record that then he had eventually broken.
Yeah,
he set it backwards.
vice versa.
Yes. But anyway, he's progressing, and I really like. Last year, he went on a 20 touchdown to 1 interception ratio towards the last half of the year, and he's just progressing 100%. And yes, you make a good point. If you're looking at what he's done to this point, you'd have to assume he's going to take the contract. That just seems like the guy Baker Mayfield is, which is why I think that he's going to surprise a lot of people and do the opposite, because that's what Tom Brady has shown wins football games. And I think that if anyone's going to learn, not that anyone's going to learn to be Baker, but I have a hunch that Baker Mayfield is going to do the right thing. And like I said, talent-wise, I really don't have much of a doubt with him.
Yeah, it's the main thing. He doesn't have the 20-1 thing. That's an amazing statistic, but most of the time you don't see that. Typically, he's just efficient and doesn't put up big numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw against what was the Cowboys.
I bring it up every
year.
time. They put up like 80 combined points or 90 points against the Cowboys between the two teams, and he put up 150
it's
passing
like
yards.
Cam Newton this past year. They won, but if you look at the stats at the quarterback, you'd be like, who scored?
Exactly.
But against that game, I think the Browns had 300 rushing yards, and that
OBJ threw a touchdown.
Exactly.
So they find ways to score.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining, and Kevin Stefanski, I think he's a huge success behind Baker Mayfield, and not to say Stefanski is responsible for Baker Mayfield's success, but I definitely think it's a part of it. If anything, Stefanski's not holding him back. The other guys were, especially Freddie Kitchens. He was not a fit for them. So overall, I think if Baker takes the Brady route, this will be a very successful team for a very long time. We did a video on teams that have the longest or the best potential for the long-term future, and if Baker goes that route of going the cheap route, this will be 100%. A great team for 10 years. But if he doesn't, I don't want to say their window to win now, but it is only probably a 1 to 2 year span of where they can afford absolutely everyone. And I mean, not to say they can't pull it off. Look at the Bucs. We didn't think any of them would be coming back, but they managed to. So who's to say the Browns and Baker Mayfield won't pull something together and have a Super Bowl window of 4 to 5 years? There's still plenty of time. But if they want to go long term, 10 to 15 years, and that's what a good career of a quarterback is nowadays, Baker needs to go. I don't want to say the cheap route, but just give a family discount to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, what scares me the most right now for the future of the Browns is right now the way I see them winning games is Baker playing conservative football, smart throws, not being the hero. But the minute he takes that contract, say you can only pay one, Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt, so you keep one of them. You can only pay Myles Garrett or Denzel Ward, so you keep one of them. Then the minute that happens, then it's going to have to turn into a team where Baker has to be the hero that throws for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game to win because he took the money and the rest of the team isn't as good. And that's when I see Baker Mayfield regressing, because I think the more throws he has to make, that's simple statistics, more throws, more interceptions. But I think Baker, when put on the spot all the time, gets reckless. And I do think that if he does take the contract, you lose other guys, then the whole play style has to change. So I do think I know a lot depends on what contract he takes, because that would maintain the Browns and Baker's playing style that works right now.
Yeah, I don't know the exact salary numbers or the contract numbers, but the Browns may be fortunate, and when Baker's due for a contract, OBJ might be up for a new contract, and they might not want to re-sign him, so the money that was going towards him can go towards Baker. And you're probably like, well, what about the loss of OBJ? Yes, but they were successful this year without him.
Pretty successful
and as
without him.
Baker gets better, he won't need him as much. Of course, if you could get OBJ, I'm not going to complain, but that is just an easy go route or an out route of why you can give Baker the money, because you won't be paying it to OBJ anymore.
Yeah, so simply put, my answer is yes, Baker is the future of this franchise, but if I'm a Browns fan, I'm certainly hoping that Baker takes the selfless route, doesn't take a huge contract to allow the rest of the team to stay great around him. And, I mean, what's your call on it finally?
Yeah, same thing. You just got too much success from him way too early to go out of him.
100%. I think Baker, if I'm a Browns fan, I like Baker Mayfield for the future. But comment below what you think about Baker Mayfield. And as far as our question today, JJ Watt versus Myles Garrett, what you got?
J.J. Watt is a mutant, but I got Myles Garrett 3-0 right now. I had him beat Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald, Joey Bosa. Those are some big names. I'm going to keep on the win streak from Myles Garrett, taking down J.J. Watt, going 4-0.
So Myles Garrett is going to take his first loss in the ring to J.J. Watt. I'm a Texans fan. I love J.J. Watt. I think he can take him down. J.J. Watt is just kind of a freak. I don't know. Myles Garrett is too, but I got a hunch for J.J. Watt, and I'm taking him in this fight. Thanks for watching, guys. 2 Minute Warning.